Hello everyone, this is Joe, and I'm at Gen Con, and I'm here with Roberto from Ares Games, and he's going to talk about Battle of the Five Armies, which is their new Hobbit-based tactical battle game. So, take it away.
Okay, so Battle of Five Armies is our new release in the War of the Ring line. It's a two-player game recreating the battle at the end of the Hobbit. So anybody who's familiar with War of the Ring will recognize several of the core mechanics to be quite similar. Battle of Five Armies is still based on an action dice system with action dice with iconic phases which allow you to create a variety of different effects, but that also somehow limit what are your options in a round, so that you cannot ever be sure that you can say, think your plan and then execute it perfectly. Just like in any battle, those things are not always like you would like them to be.
Correct.
So you have to make changes to adapt to the action dice roll that you do at the beginning of your turn. The other core mechanic, which is reminiscent of War of the Ring, is the mechanic of event cards. Event cards are dual effect cards, which have one effect which can be used during the action phase and one effect that can be used during the combat phase instead. There are several enhancements on top of the basic War of the Ring mechanics, because the game is more tactical. So in this game we will also have special abilities for the different units, so that each unit may have a different combat strength, have a favorite terrain, may have a specific ability, so that the combat feels quite more tactical, quite more detailed than in War of the Ring. When you are in combat, you can both use the normal combat effect, you can use the abilities of your units, plus there are several other cards that you can use. For example, the regroup card is very important because allow you to recover your used tactic cards and also allows you to fall back in good order. So there are a lot of different elements which make the combat feel more realistic, more detailed than War of the Ring, because War of the Ring of course wants to be a grand strategic game, so the combat was deliberately kept very streamlined. Here we are zooming in a little bit on the action, so we want more detail. This is also reflected by the additional details that we have on the characters. So there are many characters for the Critical Army, not so many for the Shadow Army, which has only Bolg as a character, but on the other side has a lot of troops available with which you can have fun instead. Of course, all the most important elements from the Battle of the Five Armies are also featured, including the eagles, including the presence of the great bats, to represent the abilities of the flyer, of the eagles and the great bats. They are not connected to a single region like the normal units are, but in fact you can use their ability all over a territory, which is a group of adjacent regions all matching the same color. So for example, if you have bats in the territory here beyond the river, you can use their ability all over this area. Another very important mechanic is fate. Fate is a timer for the game, because the shadow player wins if he can achieve 10 victory points by the time the fate track ends. 10 victory points can be achieved in several different ways, because you have fortifications here and here, which are worth 4 victory points each, and you have settlements which are worth 2 victory points each. So 10 victory points can be achieved, for example, by conquering everything that's here. But you have to do this before the fate ends. The fate doesn't advance simply one every turn, but the advancement of fate is based on the draw of fate tokens. So it's partly random. The draw can go from a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 3. So the game could last from a minimum of 5 turns in theory to a maximum of 15 turns. The speed at which the fate track advances is also affected by the choice of the free people player, because the free people player has several generals, several characters with unique abilities, and at the beginning of the turn he must decide how many generals he activates. If he activates only one general, the shadow player will have to draw one token and just stay with the result of the drawn token. But if he activates multiple generals, then the shadow player will have the option to draw and redraw multiple times up to the number of generals activated, looking for a better result. Of course, the Fate advancing slowly is good for the Shadow player because this means a longer game, so greater opportunities for him to seize all the objectives on the board, and also means a delayed arrival of the powerful allies of the Free People army, including Thorin coming out of the front gate, the Eagles arriving, Bjorn arriving on the battlefield, so this is also timed by the Fate track mechanic. So the game is won by the Shadow player by achieving 10 victory points before the end of the game. The Free People's player wins if he can resist until the end of the Fate track, but he can also win if he kills Bolg. Bolg is possibly the individually most powerful character in the game, with a leadership of 3 and his powerful bodyguard, which essentially enables the army with him to withstand a huge amount of damage. But if Bolg is killed, it's an immediate loss for the Shadow player. So it's your most powerful weapon as the Shadow player. At the same time, you must be very careful not to risk too much, because otherwise, if you lose him, game over. And also the Free People player also wins if at the moment that Bjorn arrives on the battlefield, the Shadow player hasn't conquered 6 victory points yet. So it's a sort of immediate win for the Free People player if at the moment that Bjorn arrives, the Shadow player hasn't achieved at least half of his victory conditions.
Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. That's Battle of Five Armies. It's out now from Ares Games. Check it out.